Hey there, friends. It's time for another video. I'm excited. I can tell you're excited. What's that? The studio looks different? It sure does. Are we gonna change it every single video? Well, I don't know. What an exciting reason to subscribe. Now, longtime viewers and fans of the show may recall we talked about Super Nintendo last time. Why change it? Why? Let's not. Let's keep talking about it. I have one right here. I got one right here. Let's continue the love. One more video, and then we can maybe move on. But for now, the system that came out in the early 90s, it just transformed all of our young video game playing minds and inspired everything that you see today, needs to get a little bit of love. I love RPGs. We love other games too, though. You and I. So let's give some other games some well-deserved love on today's top 10 list. So, you always mention top 10 lists are pretty subjective. I know there are big names that aren't on this list. The reasons being is that I might not have played them. I haven't played every single game ever, even the really popular ones. I'm aware of some games that would probably make most people's lists, and I'm not going to mention them today, because that's just kind of boring too, right? Let's get some spicy variety in there. Now, last time, we didn't start, we couldn't keep it within 10. And I don't want to break that tradition. Let's not. Let's sneak 11 in. Let's sneak an 11 in. Number 11 is Toy Story. Toy Story. For the Super Nintendo, Disney was really good at making platformers out of their movies in the 90s. We all know, Aladdin and Lion King, but Toy Story doesn't get as much attention, but I liked it a lot. And it was maybe not quite as hard as some of those other ones. The levels were pretty short and simple for the most part. A couple of really hard ones in there. I had the hardest time as a kid with that claw machine level, but I loved it. I loved just running through this game all of the time. Probably because I loved the movie too. I'm sure that aids to my nostalgic pull to play this game, but Toy Story was cool, and I just had to give it just a little shout before going into the top 10. So Toy Story, thanks for being a fun little romp. All right, number 10 is a game that needs really no introduction at all. This has got to be the most played game, the best-selling game of all time on the Super Nintendo. We've got to talk about Super Mario World. What kind of list would this be, really? If I didn't give my guy Mario a little bit of love here. It was, to describe how revolutionary this was, like, the graphics were so colorful. The extra layer of detail from the last Mario game to this Mario game was very noticeable. New mechanics. Yoshi shows up now too. The world was really great. The world map was fun to run through. The possibilities of where these paths might lead were so exciting as a kid to talk about with my friends. Where is this going to lead? Wow, a Star World? There's a lot in here, and how much do I need to say about Super Mario World? We all know this game. Even if you didn't grow up with this game, you're familiar with its aesthetic. It's in Mario Maker now. It's such an easy streamable game, available on every single thing ever. So you gotta talk about Mario World in a top 10 list? You do. It's a fantastic game. Super Mario World. Now, my number 9 game. I remember going to the store and buying this game and going to my friend's house. I walk in, and his brother, I even remember him and his brother both were like, "Did you bring it? Did you bring it? And I pulled out this game. And I said, yes, I sure did. Here it is. We've got to play this, Mega Man X2. This game came out, it's a Capcom game coming out 94. A sequel to Mega Man X. This game had a little bit of unusual criticism in that they said that it didn't change a lot from Mega Man X to X2. But we love these games. They don't need to change anything. Give me new bosses and the exact same everything else, and I am fine. That's all we wanted. We got it. There was the little bike that you could ride. There was cool little vehicles. The mechs were a little bit better. I don't know what else they wanted. This game was really, really fun. I thought the soundtrack was cool. I'm a soundtrack guy sometimes, and the soundtrack to this game was jamming. Had some bangers. And, you know, they always give you a storyline. I think this one was like humans and Reploids were trying to coexist peacefully. And it didn't go well. Some of those Reploids were just going rogue, killing people. And you're putting a stop to that by destroying 8 robots. That stops that. Great game, though. So, a lot of fun. One of the best Mega Man X games that there was Mega Man X2 at number 9. Now number 8 is a game, and as I go through this list, it's like I gotta remind myself something, that there are hundreds of games on this system. Because I'm looking at my games right here, I can see them and I see what's coming up and I get it, but at the same time I'm like, why is this game only number 8? This game is so revolutionary. And that was Donkey Kong Country. This was developed by Rare, also in 1994. What a good year for gaming, 1994, wow. This is only like a couple of years after games like Mario World were coming out. And we're looking at graphics like this. This was huge. The music, again, was lovely, it was beautiful. The swimming levels always were famously known for having lovely, gorgeous music. I remember reading in a magazine one time as a kid that they purposefully gave swimming they constructed the world in a way in which the swimming levels would follow difficult levels to try to like relax the gamer. We just put you through a nail-bitingly intense level and we're going to kind of reward you with a peaceful, calm swimming level. You could ride around on different animal friends, collecting bananas left and right. My guy lost all his bananas, and you're on a quest to save all his bananas because this guy has maybe an unhealthy banana obsession. Really into the fruit. Never went bad, and that's okay. It's a Nintendo game. Bananas don't go bad, and that's fine. Donkey Kong Country started up a legendary franchise with legendary characters that are cemented into Nintendo lore today, and it's somehow only number 8 on this list. So let's go on. Let's move on to number 7. And again, what a legendary, epic franchise that this game started. You want to talk about legendary franchises? Number 7, Super Mario Kart. The first Mario Kart game. They've got 8 of them now, and every single Nintendo console has had a Mario Kart released on it since this game. There was like, I don't know, what was it, 6 or 7 kind of levels that you would race through, but they still had your 4 courses, and it ended with Rainbow Road, the first Rainbow Road, the Rainbow Road that started them all. I would play this game with my buddy all the time, my friend, him and I. This was just one of the go-to games. You just threw on some Mario Kart. You had battle mode at its finest. They started turning battle mode into something else later, and we just want to pop each other's balloons. That's all we want. We have simple gamer needs. We don't need to have a complex battle mode. We just want to pop balloons and then start over and do it again 100 times. I thought the coolest thing ever in the race courses was the one course where you would like jump over an earlier part of the course, and that if you were kind of approaching it, you could see these little sprites flying over you. That was like so cool. I would just sit there with my friend. I'd be like, okay, jump over me. I'm gonna try to use my feather and jump, and we'll high five in the air or something. Just have fun. We had so much fun exploring the technical limitations of Super Mario Kart. Number 6, though, is another game by my guy, my little blue guy, and that's Mega Man X. The original Mega Man X. I love Mega Man. Have I said that yet? Did I say that earlier? I love the guy. I love the guy. I mean, look, I got shirts. I got face masks. I got face masks. What more proof do you need that I love Mega Man? This guy makes great games. Mega Man X took this formula from the Nintendo and just Super Nintendo-ized it into such a cool experience. It was always just so fun and appealing to choose your way through the game. You could play it differently every single time. Here's 8 levels. You decide which order you want to do them in. Doesn't matter to us. And when I was going back, it was like coming back to me so well. I was going through the levels and I was like, oh wait, there's a heart over here, right? And I just couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down after all this time. I just found myself just being transported back into the 90s and just having this really fun time and just remembering sitting with my friend playing this game. It had a really cool secret too. You would get Ryu's Hadouken. How cool was that? Seeing Mega Man doing a Hadouken, like having 2 different things kind of cross over into each other. It was like the coolest thing ever. You had to tell all your friends that Mega Man can Hadouken. No, he can't. No, he can't. Yes, he can. You have to come over and watch me do it because we can't look up a video of it. That's not a thing yet, but he can. I promise he can. Fun, really fun game. Mega Man X. Number 6. We're moving on. We're getting into some heavy hitters here. I've got another Capcom game at number 5. At number 5 is a game, this is one of the first games that I ever played on the Super Nintendo. I'll tell you the story, but it's Mickey. It's the Magical Quest, starring Mickey Mouse. They had other games on other consoles, and these games were always really well done, really fun platformers. This one was by Capcom. It was really well made. It's got a cool mechanic where as you progress, you would get new outfits and you could change behind a curtain, which looked a little strange. He didn't want you to watch him change. He throws the curtain up, puts on his hat, and now he's a firefighter or a mountain climber or a magic guy. I'm pretty sure too, one of the times that he was changing his outfit, there was like a wizard just watching him change. A little wizard guy that would kind of wag his finger and look at him with that weird eye. But I mean, look, this game was just it's a Mickey platformer made by Capcom with powers that Mickey gains throughout the game. It was really fun. Great level design. So fun to play. It was a 2-player game, but it was one of those like I play and then when I die, it's just gonna start you wherever you were left. And you know, because I owned this game, like of course I was like a little bit better at it than like my friend that would come over. So it was always like probably not very fun. It was like I'm sitting there blasting through the levels because I played it a lot. And then they would take a few steps and die because they weren't used to something, and then it would just be my turn again. And from my perspective, I guess I was having fun. I hope they were too, but I don't know now I'm thinking about it. I don't know if this was a fun time for my friends playing next to me. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, the Magical Quest. It's a great game. Now, number 4 on today's list was a great sequel, and one of the absolute best games to come out for the Super Nintendo was Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest. Donkey Kong Country 2 was just one of my favorite games. I was so excited to get this game. I got it for Christmas. It came with like a shirt. I recall. I don't know where that shirt is. I would maybe don it today for you, but I don't know. But this game was amazing. It was better than the first one, and in my opinion, better than the third one. I think that they hit it perfect here. For me, Diddy and Dixie were the perfect duo. In the original, Donkey Kong was a little bit clumsy. I didn't see a clear advantage of ever using him. I would just be Diddy almost the whole time. And then in the third one, I thought Dixie was also the better one, and I never really wanted to be Kiddy Kong. I was always Dixie. So here you got Diddy and Dixie. You gotta go save Donkey Kong. Please grab some bananas while you're at it. But the game was just a well-polished adventure. Is this one of the best soundtracks on the Super Nintendo? Some of these tracks were incredible. The music when you would swim around, great. The music when you were on a ship was lovely. The Sticker Brush Symphony song? Are you kidding me? Have you heard it? You could loop that thing for an hour. I probably did when I was in college studying. I would love to loop video game music when I would study. It would help to, like, make me feel a little bit happy inside while I'm stressed out about this or that paper to write. Sticker Brush Symphony. Flying around in barrels with the most peaceful music ever while you're facing constant fear of spiky imminent death. Was the move here. So Rare did it right. So Donkey Kong Country 2 gets to be number 4 on my list today. Number 3 on today's list, though, let's go to it. It's gonna be Actraiser. Actraiser. I love Actraiser. This is one of the earliest games to come out for the Super Nintendo. This was by the Quintet Enix Legendary Combo. I spoke about a few of these games on my other list I posted. It is so good, and it's a really early game. This came out in like 91, and it's still really fun. Actraiser had so much potential if the sequel hadn't completely ruined all of the momentum that this game started. Who knows what could have happened. You'd go from continent to continent, clearing out a dungeon, taking control of a little angel, and directing a town on how to rebuild itself, sealing up monster layers, using your powers to destroy the environment and put up houses instead. And then when the villagers got better at building houses, you would destroy the old crappy houses and they would put up better ones. Like, as the world population grew, you became stronger. Then you could go in and you'd usually have to go and fight one more fight for this town to solve an issue. Beating bosses always solves an issue. Then you move on. Then you move on to the next town. It was just such a fun blend of two genres side by side, and they kind of scrapped that formula in the sequel, which is, they just made the sequel like a platformer. It was very, very hard instead of here, which was balanced and fun. So Actraiser is number 3 on today's list. Let's go jump now into the top 2. Number 2 is a game that was technically the first one. I love the firsts. This and the first that. This game here's the first for this one. This is the first game that I owned for the Super Nintendo. Mine didn't come with Mario World. I had to borrow games from my brother. But the very first time that I had saved up enough money to go and buy my own Super Nintendo game and take it home and hold it, and this one's mine, was this game right here by Konami, Turtles in Time. It was a left to right scrolling adventure beat 'em up style game. All of the foot soldiers and bosses and villains that you knew were were here, and I just couldn't get enough of playing this. It just would be something I would just sit down with a buddy, let's just play through this. I remember another one of my really good friends and I had a deal, and this deal was every single time that we hang out, and that was a lot, every single time we hang out, we have to beat this game. So every single time my buddy came over, we would sit down and we would play this game until we could play it with like the hardest settings that you could possibly give yourself and still play through and make it. And we just didn't get tired of it. And like, it was, what a cool little concept. You play a few levels and then you get thrown into the past and you're just progressing through different time eras as you work your way up back to the modern day to stop Shredder. Right? I don't think it's a spoiler to say you're trying to stop Shredder. Of course, it's pretty hilarious. Wasn't like I think it was like 2020. One of the time periods was literally like now it's in the past. Like flying surfboards and super futuristic cities that I guess we thought we were only 30 years away from back when this game came out. This is a fun style of game, and the Turtle version of side-scrolling beat-em-ups was just always my favorite version of that kind of game. So Turtles in Time is my number 2 game on today's list. But number 1 is brilliant, incredible, more words that mean the same thing. I'm running out of words here, but my mom said she had a surprise in the trunk. Go get some groceries, and oh, there's a surprise in there for you. And I vividly remember opening up the trunk and gazing upon this crown jewel of the Super Nintendo. And that is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. My favorite game on today's list. This was maybe close to being considered for the RPG list, but I've always kind of held that Zeldas are a little different. They're not quite RPGs, but I kind of get why there's an argument to be made there. But Zelda games are just Zelda games. Zelda games are their own thing. I love the Zelda franchise. I've played almost all of them, and in my heart, this one just has this a certain quality to it that just is never going to be topped. As good as Breath of the Wild even was, I just can't help but just love this game with my whole being. This game was a really fun Zelda game. From the moment Link wakes up in his bed, I was just hooked. Traversing around the rainy castle, not knowing what to do, and then they just sort of would gently nudge you in the right direction. This text would appear and try to guide you in that way. There was hidden hearts, there was hidden weapons, jars, everywhere in this world. So many secrets. There was really a lot to explore in this game. In the light world versus the dark world, there was a lot of really cool boss fights and puzzles to solve. It's Zelda. We all know Zelda. This is, I think, the best two-dimensional Zelda, and it can arguably be called the best one. People like to say Ocarina of Time's the best, Breath of the Wild's the best. I understand all of these arguments, but I gotta tip my hat here to Link to the Past. What an amazing game for the system to come out and to just really set the pace. I think that this game really helped to cement Link's legacy in Nintendo. It was just like, whoa, yeah, Link's here. Link is here to stay. Zelda games are here to stay. And of course, to this day, is one of the biggest franchises in all of gaming and all of Nintendo, and it deserves, very much so, to be the #1 game on today's list. Now, before we go, how about one honorable mention? Give me one. I think I threw a lot at you before. I'm just going to give one honorable mention out for a game. And my reason for not putting this game on the list is quite simply that I don't have a copy of it. I don't have a copy of it. I didn't want to put it on, I couldn't hold it up, and it's Harvest Moon. This game came out in 1997 by Natsume and spawned another amazing franchise that has continued under a different company's direction today. Now the Harvest Moon team makes the Story of Seasons franchise, but Farm Sim was a really interesting idea that I remember reading about in Nintendo Power with my friend. We were really, really excited about it. It just seemed kind of different and unique and exciting. And I was able to play the game eventually, and I got very addicted to it. It was exactly what I had hoped for when I read about it. It was what I had imagined it would be, and it was a cool little fun time. So a shout out to Harvest Moon for being a cool game. Didn't really know which list it should be honorably mentioned on, so we're gonna mention it on this one, because again, not quite an RPG, but I get why it's kind of looped in with them sometimes. Anyways, that's my list for today. If you were disappointed that you didn't see me talk about cool games like Final Fantasy, then you missed the other video. Go check it out. I had a top 10 RPG list for the Super Nintendo that I made before, so we just wanted to give a little bit of love to some of the other masterpieces that came out for this system, and I think we did a good job of that today. All the support so far has been extraordinary, and I'm very lucky to have gotten all of that. So I'm very happy. Genuinely, thank you. And I will see all of you next time. How do I sign off? Do I have a thing yet? Did the fist bump thing? Was that? Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, guys, fist bump me. I love it. I love it. Have a great day, gaming.